Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel reaction. Today we have complete theme number 5, Black Gold in the Patreon queue, waiting patiently, ever so patiently, for me to get back to this series. I know that it's been a while. I have a lot of songs in the Patreon queue to get through, and it's been like about 2 months, I think, since I got to the last one, and I enjoyed it very much, so I'm expecting to enjoy this one very much. So I guess we gotta figure out what this one has in store, don't we? Let's go! I am aware that this song has technically 3 sections to it, so I'm not sure if we're gonna have transitions between or if it's just gonna fade out like the other one did and just kind of have a gap between, but as always, I love hearing how these different phases connect. I'm digging the traditional vibe here. Got the shamisen going, got the shakuhachi going. Definitely got that samurai war era. Ooh. Sorry, I was like listening to the drums there for a second. I'm hearing pitch bending. If those are taiko drums, I don't think I've ever heard pitch bent taiko drums before. It's obviously doable, but it's kind of unique if trying to stay in that genre. I don't think I've heard that in a period piece musically. Usually that's something a little bit more out of like Central or like Far West Asia, not East Asian. I love how relaxed this is, actually. Had a little bit of energy there, but like, all things considered, this is pretty chill. It's a very nice pacer for something that's like a dual theme, I suppose, but... Ooh. That's gotta be part 2. Yep, okay. I was like, there's no way that that wasn't part 2. I had to check. Got the rim clicks going now. A lot more active energy on this part. Starting to blend it a little bit with a Western sound font. Got more brass, got more strings. Ooh, what a powerful brass line. Love that. I knew exactly where that was going. I'll share why I like that one later. I'll talk about that in length after the fact. It's a very stupid reason, but I'm gonna share it nonetheless. Woo. Love the accents. I know it probably looks stupid as all hell right now, but I'm enjoying myself, alright? Let me have this. That like violin pass in there almost sounded a little bit Celtic, actually. Okay, now we're getting more like contemporary shamisen playing in here. A lot more modern. What a neat evolution. This has all been really cool. Just moving. It feels like you started in like the Edo period and now you're moving so much faster and farther into the future. Still great on the accents too. Ooh. Ooh, we got like an offbeat dance on the hi-hat going here. Yeah. What a simple yet so very effective energy lift, just adding that and nothing else. Energy build here is so strong. It's consistent and strong, which is pretty difficult to do for like this length of a song. The only time I felt like I was kind of jarred was the transition of the first and second part. But everything else has been very smooth going forward. Yeah, I didn't even really notice when that one evolved to the third part. Very impressive there. So again, gotta shout out to the brilliance of this song being so smooth all the way through. This evolution is one of the most smooth evolutions I've heard between two pieces in a while, especially with like that feeling of starting traditional and ending more contemporary. I love that, especially in that 2 to 3 transition where I didn't even notice, really. I could feel that there was a shift in energy slightly, but I couldn't tell if that was just like an addition to the second part and we hadn't gotten to the third yet. And it took me a second to realize we were already that far in. But again, the first one did kind of have a little bit of a jump, but I feel like that was more of just a lack of opportunity, maybe by the uploader not having a perfect spot to cut from. And maybe this track is just not as smooth into it. I feel like there is a chord that could have been used right there for a transition too, but it just wasn't utilized for whatever reason, and that might just be the way that the song's like audio rip had them rip it. I'm not positive, and there are a lot of factors behind how these people get things uploaded, so I'm not gonna like point a finger here, but back to that one spot that got me all giddy and stupid for no apparent reason. That reason is actually because it's super simple. So the first part is literally D, A, G, E, D, quite easily. And the reason that sounds so good is because it starts at a perfect fifth jump, which is just an obviously very pleasing to the ear collection there. And the reason it just kind of sounds all good together is because the D and the G and then the E and the A here are perfect fourths. So if you play them like, sounds really nice. And obviously there's that perfect fifth that you start on. The relationship between the final two is actually a like diminished, it's a minor third. So it's not quite as nice to hear as the other two, but it does just kind of walk right down. And it just sounds good because you're skipping out on that connector of the F, which would make everything really crunchy. So it just sounds big, it sounds full, and it sounds powerful because there's no minor key in there, there's no sharp, there's no flat, so everything just flows really well, it connects very well. And the second part is quite literally the same thing, except you go this D, A, G, and then you jump up to the C, and then back down to the A. So it's just really simple because again, you have this nice relationship with the separations on these keys. You get a perfect fourth and a perfect fourth. So it just marries itself that way. It carries itself in this very full pattern style. And the reason that this caught my ear is because these are basically the same notes that make up Lugia's theme from Pokemon the movie 2000. That is goofy that that's where my brain decided to take it, but I loved that movie to death when I was a kid. I watched it so many times. I had it on DVD. I'm old, but Lugia's theme is really easy, and I've memorized this years ago because I'm silly. And it's right in there, except for this black key. You get basically the same starting notes. You get this like connection here. That's the separation there, that one without the F in between. It's all the same because when you go back down, that's that note. So you're back on those fourths, and when you go up for the second part of Lugia's theme, you hit those higher notes again. I think the only one that doesn't get hit immediately is that one in the second pass from the Yu-Gi-Oh song. But it's just kind of funny that a Yu-Gi-Oh track reminded me of Pokemon. Like, what a small world we live in of trading card games, right? But that's also to say, because the song seems to be in C, I didn't really listen close enough to be able to tell exactly what key it's in. It could just be a minor key adjacent or parallel to a C, but it feels like most of it is in C, so I'm just gonna roll with that because this song does sound pretty high energy and not in like a sad way, purely because utilizing different modes is pretty popular in Japanese music, especially Dorian. It's a lot of music in Japan is using Dorian mode, so I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case, in which case you probably would have that F sharp in there, so maybe I was onto something with the whole Lugia's theme thing, but I'm not sure. I did not listen quite that close to be able to tell. But either way, brilliant song. Love the evolution of this one. I love the energy behind it. Absolutely adore the traditional to contemporary feel. That smooth transition upwards, adding more of the violins in there and more of that string section as you got into the second part that was bigger, more energetic, adding the brass to add some beef underneath everything. Just still keeping all of that like warlike aesthetic of the taiko drums, and it's just so cool. The pitch bent percussion in there too that I was hearing. Again, it's something that's a lot more common in like Western Asia and like India and that part of the world rather than East Asia, so it's kind of interesting to hear that. I know that they do that in Japanese music, I just don't hear it nearly as often, so it's a pretty unique take to include that. But at the same time, it's not like I'm a professional historian of Japanese traditional music, so for all I know, they've been doing that for generations and I'm just not aware of it, and it's not utilized in more stereotypical sounds that you tend to hear. But yeah, I'm not going to keep yapping about that. I just enjoyed the absolute hell out of this. I love the aesthetic. I absolutely adore it. And it's very nice to have that little nostalgia twinge of Lugia's theme. It's been a while since I've heard that song and I've even played it, so that was very nice as well. Especially coming from a Yu-Gi-Oh track that was just hilariously full of irony, and I loved that. But I'll digress there. So thank you all so very much for watching. If you have any other songs you want me to listen to and react to and talk about, leave them down in the comments below and I'll do my best. I know there's quite a few from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Masters stuff that a lot of people have said I should listen to. I just haven't really because I've had so many other songs to get through, like I mentioned earlier. So it's just a huge list and it takes me a while, but I'm sure I'll get around to some of them. So if you have anything, leave it down below and I'll do my best as always. And if you just like this video and you want to follow and support me to see more videos in the future, you know how to do all that. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!